Good morning, Top War friends. Cookie here. We're getting a new HT here, the Blade Angel BA6, a new chipset to go with it, and this HT has an event that goes with it, which is a little different than how you've gotten HTs in the past. But let's start with our HT here. So your HT is Blade Angel BA6. Common mode is the same for every HT. It just allows you to switch if it's Air Force, Army, or Navy. Second skill is Void Judgment, which basically means you hit in a vertical line. And I think that's the way that Air Force hits, kind of that 1, 2, 3 right behind each other, as opposed to a horizontal line, kind of like, Navy units hit normally, or Army units hit one unit with all their attack. So you're going to hit in a vertical line when you hit with Blade Angel. So it's going to hit probably the 3 units or 2 or 1, depending who's left, but in that straight vertical line. Its damage increases by 5% per round with Surging Spirit, up to 20%. So basically for 4 rounds, it's a damage increase that on the attack that the Blade Angel BA6 does. That'll help. Steel Wings. At the start of each action, you gain 60% heavy armor and an extra 60% light armor when defending. So these are 2 different armor types you get. You get more when defending than when attacking, but you get it either way. So if you remember, heavy armor and light armor directly help that Lydia Meowzilla march on Navy, because they allow them to get damage reduction shields do damage increase boost for them. So that's something to consider when using this HT, that it would go well with that march in that situation. The next skill is Invincible. It gives an attack bonus of 80%, and your units in the same row get that effect as well. So that does help you, it helps the other units as well, so that's pretty cool, and it's a nice attack boost. Void Verdict. And so you remember Void Judgment, now this is Void Verdict. Attack hits with 2 enemies within 2 slots of the target for damage. So this is sort of like a form of splash damage, I feel like that, it's gonna hit the target and then it's gonna hit the enemies around the target with splash damage, basically of 30%. They may not call it splash damage, so you may not get the effect you get on splash damage with Lydia, but it's the same, process. And then the last skill is Auto Repair, which means that this HT can instantly repair 1 damaged heavy trooper per day. So that's kind of like for those that have Cloud Top Palace, that effect, right? That your HT can be, 1 HT can be repaired 1 time a day. So now you have, I guess if you had Cloud Top and this, you would have 2 HT repairs in a day. Now, looking at this information, the first thing is that the HT goes very well with, like I said, that Lydia and Meowzilla march, because it gives its own damage reduction shields. But I think there's some benefit to this HT, just, not even using them because of the auto repair. But then with that splash damage and that backward attack, you could probably use it in other places as well. But I feel like that may be like the peak usage of this HT. And with some testing, you'll find out a few other things, but I think that's like that's what I would start at. Normally now in the past, when we get a new HT, we start with, you get the basic, modules on your regular events tab, and you attack your Into the Unknown, and, you get those little tickets, and you could buy more if you want to, and eventually you unlock all the main modules, and then you get the other ones through HT boxes. This one's different. So this one's got an event. It's called the Blade Angels Treasure Event. And they kind of explain it here. So there's a prize wheel where you'll get ammo, and you'll deal damage to the boss in the center. And then, once you've taken out all the damage, there will be a blade angel that appears in World, kind of like the boats that appear or the Enigma veins that appear. This seems to be along those lines. And then as people attack those, you get progression rewards for that. Your goal being that you get vouchers, and then the vouchers turn into tokens. And with your tokens, you can then go into the treasure store where you could buy the modules for the heavy trooper. So it's going to be a little different to get. And they've put a note here. It's a regular event. Each period is expected to last 7 days. And so the tokens you collect will expire, but the treasure vouchers will be carried over. So it's like with the boats, the missiles are carried over, but the coins expire. You want to watch that to make sure, you save up vouchers if you want, but don't save up tokens. Lastly, there's this new chip, which is the Ring of Cosmos chip. So the main skill for the chip, if you have it in the center, is that each type of damage reduction shield a heavy trooper has, its damage increases by 18% up to 36%. So if your heavy trooper has a damage reduction shield, it's going to get 18%. A second one is going to get 36%. So now with this Blade Angel heavy trooper, he gets a damage reduction shield automatically. And then when defending, he gets a light damage reduction shield. So that would get him up to 36% right away if you were using this chip with this heavy trooper. If you're using this chip with a different heavy trooper, if you remember the purple HT, the Doom Saw Blade, he has damage reduction shields. Your yellow HT, the original Earth Crusher, had a damage reduction shield, but that showed up very late. If I remember right, your Indestruct effect counts as a damage reduction shield. So that will help you get to that 36% no matter who you're using it with, this chipset. It'll just take 2 rounds. And then, if you get damage reduction shields from other heroes like Malzilla or Maplin or whatever, that'll add up. So you get to that 36% fairly quickly in most cases. Another interesting thing is that the chipset stats are a little different than what we've seen in the past. It used to be that with 6 pieces of the same chipset, you got 100% attack boost. With this one, with 6 pieces, you're going to get all units damage increased plus 30%. So that's a nice boost. So, it might encourage people to go back to using chipsets as opposed to just mixing and matching their chips if they want to use this one. That's the basics of that. So the way I look at that is that the 30% damage increase at 6 isn't really nice, but I mean, depending on your stats, you're gonna have to look at if it's beneficial to you to actually have one complete chipset, or if it's beneficial to you to just switch it up and you have enough stats on the other chips that doesn't make a difference to you. The chipset itself looks like it's pretty good. That 36% damage increase is nice if you can get to it, and then you add a 30%. That's for the heavy trooper, and then you have a 30% damage increase for all units. So that's a nice bump from the chipset. That's the basic gist of what we've got here. Again, this heavy trooper is better in defense than he is on the attack because you get more stuff when he's defending. You also have a little bit more, he's useful even when not being used because of the fact that he repairs another heavy trooper. So I think it's a good heavy trooper in that sense. I think the best use after reading is probably with that Lydia March for Navy. But I think you can go with just about anybody because you will get your damage reduction shields through different things. And so you only need 2 to get to that 36% damage increase anyway. So I think that way he will help you. And let's test him out and see how he does. And we'll go from there. All right, again, guys, take a minute to hit like and subscribe. And comment below with any questions or comments you may have. Sometimes you guys teach me stuff in the comments. Other than that, have a wonderful time. Cookie out.